Welcome back, guys, for another episode of All My Tales. I'm your host, Acacia,
And I'm Krystelle.
and thank you guys so much for joining us once again. Once again, thank you all for interacting amazingly on all our social medias and also giving us all your comments
Thank you.
on our past episodes.
Yes, thank you for all your support again. You know, it's been overwhelming and we're so happy to have them. Thank you guys for all your positive feedbacks as well. And any criticism we'll try to improve on. Thank you.
Don't criticize. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Constructive.
No, but thank you guys so much. The response has been really overwhelming. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the nitty gritty in terms of why you are all back here watching us again.
Yes.
So Krystelle, how have you been?
I've been okay, you know, just I don't know, these past few days I've just been feeling like I've just been like in my own world. You know, when you got to really like make the effort to be motivated. But yeah, I've been okay, and then, you know, Brexit is coming soon, but yeah, it is what it is. Things are changing. Change is good.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not even really paying too much attention to all the Brexit stuff that's happened. I've just been in a really good and happy and positive space.
Oh,
so
that's good.
I'm really happy. So I can't complain. If I can't complain about something, it means something's going right. So thank God for that one.
Yeah.
So our topic for today is going to be Krystelle, introduce it.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the rise in knife crime.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons it's like such a big thing for me is because I have a son, and he's growing up in this area and around this this era where I just don't understand. It's a really big concern and big fear, even though thank God he's not at that age yet. It's still a worry as a mum, you know, to have a son, young black boy growing up in London, and the rise of crime. And you know, you just got to ask yourself what factors are contributing to this, because you know it's directly affecting, you know, the black community, you know, and it's taking our black boys away. If it's not through the death, it's through the prison system. So you know, it's really sad.
So with that being said, who do you think is to blame for this then?
I think there's a number of different things that, you know, I wouldn't say there's one particular place or whatever to put the blame on, but I guess it's a wide range of like factors. Like I said, you know, it could, you know, one of the things is the government has cut funding, and due to the cuts, the poverty has actually risen in the UK. And if you look anywhere where there's high poverty, there is a high crime rate, you know. So I mean, that's one thing. I mean, the other thing can be down to parenting, you know. It could be down to parenting. There's a lot of single parent homes. A lot of young black boys are not having the right type of role models or influences to look up to, so they tend to, you know, gain role models from guys on the streets that don't know themselves, that never had proper male figures as well in their lives. You know, but I don't want to always put all the blame on single moms, because the moms are actually trying their best to, you know, do what they can to provide for their family, and probably are not there to keep an eye or you know, keep an eye on their child, especially when they get to that age. It's like, you know, they will probably want to go out and make money and try to sustain themselves and their family, and it's not an easy thing to do. So my heart goes out to them.
I don't think, my personal opinion in terms of the rise in knife crime, yes, I think it's definitely gone up because for, like you said, also many different factors. My personal opinion, I know a lot of people like to say it's because governments are cutting funding and there's no youth clubs and there's no this and access to this. I personally, first of all, believe that training and discipline comes from within a home. So I personally feel as if the rise in knife crime stems from there not being enough discipline in a home. I feel like as a parent, it's our duty to control our children. Yes, when they go out into the world, when they go to school or wherever, they're going to meet people, they're going to socialize. Kids are going to be kids and do bad things.
Yeah.
Like even from my parents' days, they got up to loads of stuff where they used to fight all the time.
Yeah.
It's what they do. It's expected. The only difference is now that in our society, our young children are now using weapons.
Yeah, that's true.
So no one actually have a good old fist fight or a good old punch up.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
because why? They're so mentally weak.
Yeah.
And violent that the first thing they go to do is fire a weapon.
Yeah.
So I think the types of fights that you would expect children to have, it's now escalated.
Yeah, that's true.
To a more deadly way.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because there's a lack of understanding and appreciation for the value of life.
Yeah, that's
First
true.
of all, for their own life, and for the importance of someone else's life.
Yeah, that's true.
So that I think it's a mental brainwash or a mental diminishment where they don't appreciate life and the value of life. And the reason why I say it starts from within the home is because one thing that I know, a lot of times the black community have this thing about being very hush hush. We don't like to communicate with the police. We don't like to report things. So I feel like a lot of these parents know when their children are involved in things. Not all, a number of them, they know, they are aware. And what they do, they may try to speak to the child might be unruly, but instead of actually reporting them to the authorities, they turn a blind eye. They're not happy, they don't condone it, but they turn a blind eye. I think as a parent, sometimes you need to make very harsh decisions. And one of those decisions might be that you do need to turn your child into the police or try and put them in directions for help. For example, ship them off to boot camp. If you want to act as if you've got all the control and the power, go into the bloody army and use that control and power for something. You know? And I just feel as if there's no accountability. And a lot of parents who don't take accountability, they like to use this, it's the government's fault, it's poverty's fault. No, I don't think it's always that. Yes, because some families are so underprivileged or they don't have a lot of money. So yes, it is hard for a single mother or even a family to make ends meet. In general. Yeah, that's true. I can understand that. So when kids go to school and they compare what each other have, yes, they probably want to say, I know my mom don't have it, so I want to go and make it the money for myself. They might then be influenced by other people, other elders who are involved in other things. But at the end of the day, I feel as if we need to start from home and we need to take accountability as a community.
Yeah, definitely. I think that black community needs to take accountability. But I feel like it's certain things are even though the discipline and stuff, because some children, they are so disciplined, they've got two parents, but they still turn to that. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I do feel like, sorry,
Krystelle, when you're on set, your phone needs to be off.
Sorry,
right?
Yeah, buzzing my ass. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Like I was saying, some people come from 2-parent households and they still turn to that. I think as well, the rise in like drugs, and what people see. I think this world has become more materialistic. So whereas back in the day we would be content, you know, we might not like what our parents got us, but we have no choice but to wear it. We might not like where, you know, what our parents made, but we gotta eat it.
Yeah.
You know, where now life is so fast paced. They're so, with social media and all of that, they're constantly bombarded by images of, you know, people wearing the best this and the best that, and now it's even with the older guys, these older in the hood or whatever, these older guys, they're rolling up, they're wearing Moncler coats, and everyone's got a Balenciaga trainers, like £600, £800 trainers, and all this type of stuff, and that's not normal, you know.
But that's the thing.
I think that's not normal to see that in the hood where we haven't got a lot of money, seeing most people wearing £1,000 coats and you know, and hundreds of pounds of trainers and clothes and stuff like that. And if you're living in a hood, most likely you're living in a council flat, and that is your priority, then in a way it's like what Nipsey Hussle said, it's like a status symbol. It's a something to show that you're somebody amongst a bunch of nobodies, you know. And so you use those material things to lift your image or lift your status in the hood. These young boys now, they look up to that. They admire that. They want to be like that, because for them, yeah, that guy's made it. He's got the girls, he's got the car, he's got the money, he's eating at the flyest restaurants, he's going on holiday, all of this type of stuff. And they want that fast life. They ended up getting involved in the drug game. Then, you know, that leads to drugs comes with other sets of crime, murders and all this type of stuff. And I think that's one of the main causes. It's just that people want more and no one's willing to work hard for it.
I think, and it's good that you said that, because a lot of the times when you talk about working hard, a lot of people like to go with this one narrative where it's like, oh, you know, it's hard, I can't get a job because I'm black, or because of whatever reason I can't get a job. A lot of people, most of us grow up with the same opportunities. It may deviate in certain ways, but there are means that you can actually go out there and make things happen. It might mean you might not be the smartest kid in school, but it just means you need to spend a bit more extra hours revising, studying. I was never the smartest kid in school, and in order to achieve what I needed to achieve, I had to put those extra hours in certain areas.
But it's not only putting in the extra hours, it's also tapping into things that you're talented in. You know, if you know your for example, your talent is football, your talent is art, your talent is being, put your energy into those things. And I think when it comes to the clubs, this is one of the things that the clubs used to do, because at the end of the day, not everybody's academic. Sometimes some people can be sitting there for hours, and they're not retaining anything, you know. And then there's people with, you know, dyslexia and things like that are not able to, you know, different types of not learning disabilities, but
this is where we have different opinions, because I don't believe knife crime is as a result because there's no clubs.
Really?
I don't believe so. I genuinely feel as if the issue with knife crime is just more about a lack of community issue, a lack of leadership, and like you said, the more influx in social media being an influence.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is, because I think being able to take someone's life, a club can't stop you from doing that.
No, a club can't do it, but what happens? Children become idle. You got to be, because children, they have to start investing their time into something constructive. If not, they can become idle. Idle minds make trouble.
That's fine. Okay, but why don't the parents put the kids into different clubs?
But if they've got money, how can they afford that?
Work harder. I'm sorry. I just feel like there's too many excuses. Okay, if you know that your child is being idle, there's things you can send. Churches run different little things. You can get them into churches. You've got cousins and families. Yeah, when I was growing up in Guyana, I lived in a family where I had cousins, friends of family, and we were together. I never went to clubs after school in Guyana. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We were idle as kids, yes, but our parents put things in place which can keep us entertained to a certain level. And maybe sometimes it's because of being brought up in this country is different to being brought up in the Caribbean or in Africa or somewhere else. But I don't believe that the excuse that people try to use because clubs have been cut funding is the main reason. It could be a source, part of the reason, like you said, idle minds make trouble. It could help if they had clubs, because maybe they'll be able to actually learn social skills, how to engage with different people you don't know and not feel threatened by different people because they have to work together as a club. So, but I don't think it's the main reason. I think we just need to take accountability for the issues and actually find some new solutions.
Yeah,
we already know the clubs have been cut. So what are the new solutions for these young people?
I mean, I understand with the thing. I mean, like I was saying, even though and understand, I completely agree with everything you're saying. But I'm not saying that it's the clubs only. But like I said, not everyone's academic, and this is where you have different clubs that's able to now recognize children's talent, and you say work harder. But then if the parents work harder, that means they're away from the home less. When your child's like 13, 14, 15, 16, they're independent enough. They're okay to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And like we were saying in last week's podcast, is that in these days economically, one person can't sustain a home. It's very expensive. So before, for example, you would say but my mum was a stay-at-home mum. Your mum stayed at home, looked after the children. So there was always an eye. And on top of that, where we're from, there was a sense of community. Some of their parents immigrated, like our parents, but they didn't have that community. You know, some people, and in this country as well, people just tend to mind their own business. There's no sense of support from a neighbor. Your neighbors doing their own thing. Everyone's got their own issues. Everyone's got their own problems. Even aunties and uncles, they don't tend to support each other. It just tends to be everyone's trying to make some money to support their own family. So children are just left unattended.
I hear what you're saying, but it's funny because you are someone who have children, and you do a lot with your children, and everything you do doesn't cost money. A lot of the time, exactly. So someone like yourself who you don't have clubs to send your children to, they're not at an age where they'll go to youth clubs, but do you know what I mean? They don't have clubs necessarily.
My son goes to after school clubs and
stuff. But the point is, you are someone who are able to source different activities and things to do with your children. There are parents out there, yes, you work, but once you come home, they don't actually spend quality time with their children. So the very simple things like, for example, doing painting, your kid likes music, cool. Do music with them. Let them put on talent shows for you. So when you're not at home, they're working on doing a talent show for their mum. There are things you can do as a parent in your home to engage them.
Yeah.
So and there are a lot of free things out there that you can do. Maybe not youth clubs, but as a family, you can facilitate different things.
Yeah, well, I think when they're young, it's easier to.
Yeah.
But when they start to get older, and that's where the problem starts, when they become teenagers. You understand? Because when they become that, once they hit that teenage stage, you can't really keep a tracker on them. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because, for example, my son's 7 now, so I walk him to school, like pick him up from school. I know what he's doing. He can't go out without me. He can't stay at home alone without
you. Yeah.
You know, he's not at that age yet. But when he starts to get older, I'm gonna have less control on the things that he does, and this is where my worry is. Obviously, you would want to hope that the discipline and the lessons that you've taught him and instilled in him sticks. But there's a lot of outside influences out 100%. There. And then you've got to remember, this is what I was saying with the idols, because, for example, you got a child, let's say you live in an estate or something, and you've got a child who's got a lot of issues at home. He comes to now play with your child, and this is how the influences start. You know, definitely. You start to see your child less and less. Oh, I'm going to my friend's house. Who's this friend? I mean, with us, like where we're from, not no friend's house and all this type of business. That stuff never used to run with my parents, right? Unless my parents knew you from when we were all young. From when I came here, I wasn't going to no friend's house. No friends was really coming to my house. I mean, if any friend going to the house business is going on, they're coming to my house. So my mom can suss out who these people and all this type of stuff. And another thing my parents used to want to know is my friends' parents.
Exactly. So let's say, but it's just these very slight adjustments or innerness from parents. Sometimes it requires just for you to kind of still have some form of handle or control. At the end of the day, kids are going to be kids. They are going to deviate. They are going to break the rules. Yeah. It's a fact. It's a norm. But I feel like, as a parent, once you've done all you can do as a parent, because there's no manual, there's no rule book to parenting. Yeah. It's all about trial and error. And a lot of the times, the eldest child tends to get it worse. But at the end of the day, it's just all about, once you've done all you could do as a parent, it's up to that child to go out and make its own mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to knife crime, I feel like you can't control what these young people do.
Yeah, I think
all you have to hope
now.
is that you as a parent and your individual child, your child will make the best decision. And it's sad because a lot of these good children do get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, they do.
And it's hard. And to be quite honest, I do feel like, I think there was something about stop and search being started again and stuff like that. And I know many young black boys might say that stop and search actually never stopped for them, because it was a process that continued to happen to them all the time. But I feel like stop and search was something that was very targeted towards the black community back in the day, and I feel like it probably still is. But I'm not against it, because I feel like in our current climate with knife crime, I think yes, stop and search anyone who fits the bill. And it's very sad to say, but it's a fact, because it's such a growing epidemic right now within our community. Any little black boy that you see fits the crime, they should get stopped. And the reason why is because when you ask them, a lot of them say we carry knives because we're protecting ourselves against the ops. So they said, I don't want to kill someone, but if I need to protect myself, I will.
Yeah.
And it's very sad that it's come to that. But if the police can get all of the knives off the streets, and it brings it now back to them having to use fist fights and have a good old punch up, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
I will be happy.
I mean, I don't disagree with stop and search, but I do understand what they were saying with the targeting, because obviously it's targeted at the black community, but let's be honest, the crime is happening mostly in the black community. It's black boys killing black boys, black boys killing black boys. So who else is it going to be targeting?
Yeah.
But in terms of I think the police probably need to do more investigating and just don't stop any random black boy, because what ends up happening is that they probably stop a random black boy that has nothing to do with that. That creates a very hostile and traumatic experience for that black boy. Now he's got a very volatile relationship with the police, and he's like, if the police and the police don't care about, what I'm trying to say. So whereas the police is supposed to be there to protect the community, now it's become like, I can't trust them, because the way the police as well handle the situation, not everybody's a criminal, so they can't.
No, it's not. But
people.
you know what I think part of the issue is as well. The fact that there is not a lot of black police officers anyway. And when there are black police officers, you've seen it on social media, where instead of our community embracing and supporting our black officers, they record them, taunt them, laugh at them. If a black boy said to anyone, "Oh, I'm a police," "Oh, you're fed, you're a pig," and the actual negative connotation of that is stopping other ethnic minorities or black boys from joining the force. So what then happens? It's then just seen as us against them. Yeah. So even if the police are trying to protect and serve like they're supposed to, there's not enough black influences within the squad to make them relatable to the black communities. Yeah. And that's the issue. We just need to stop having this negative connotation about the police and profession and embrace it. We need more of us to infiltrate that sector to allow it to become more diverse.
I mean,
and it may actually start to make a difference.
I mean, to be honest, historically, even with Stephen Lawrence, the police, the Metropolitan Police, the police, it's never been favourable for black people. In fact, it's an institute that's built on racism.
Yeah.
Right? And that systematic racism is still in there. Right? And so when I think black people join the force, I don't feel it's a thing where they're seeing that, I think the black community feels like now you're joining up, like the opposition. You're joining people who are against us. So like you're a sellout, like you're a traitor.
I get all that, but I'm saying we need to end it because it's not helping.
Is the police really for black people?
They're probably not, but I'm saying, how are we going to change it? We cannot change it by standing on the forefront to people who are supposed to govern over us to that extent.
What needs to happen is, first of all, the police system it just needs a whole overhaul. It needs an overhaul because there are still laws, and when they had the Stephen Lawrence documentary, there are still laws in place in the judicial system and in the police force that, says that, blacks are going to be treated differently.
But that's what I'm saying.
They have to first of all break those laws And then they have those officers within that system. And most of those type of officers, because they've been long-serving officers, are actually the chiefs. They're actually their heads. So they're instilling all this type of stuff. It's in that system. And in order for them to protect our community, they have to be more sympathetic and empathetic to our community.
But that's what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying. But there is no point in saying
and
that but they can't change it for us if we don't want to change it for ourselves. So that's what I'm saying. We need to get more or be more accepting of our own kind going into that system. And then once we are starting to protest for these changes to happen, it will make sense.
Yeah.
Because we can't then expect people just to feel sorry for us when we're all wearing chips on our shoulders. That's how they're saying that we're wearing chips on our shoulders, playing the black card all the time, when it's just a bunch of white guys. And when we do come out, we get called pigs and hostile.
Yeah.
So what bloody pig is going to want to help you when that's all you're being you're labeling them as pigs?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, for me, a lot of things have to be tackled strategically, smartly, and very aggressively in a smart way.
Yeah.
There's no point standing on the sideline screaming and shouting, asking for change. It just does not make sense to me at all. So I think once the police and the communities have a better relationship, and there is a lot more of us in there, and they feel supported by their own community. That's what the black officers feel supported by their community. They can go in there and make noises, but you can't have a black officer to come in to a scene of crime as well, or to investigate, and you're filming them calling them pigs.
Yeah, that's true.
How are they supposed to step out? Because what are they doing? You call me a pig, I'm your black brother. You can attack me because you think I'm just like this other pig.
Yeah.
Who are they going to look for protection for? Their colleague, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how are they going to step forward and protect you or stand up against their colleague when they see the colleague doing something wrong?
Yeah.
When you paint them all with the same brush.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's almost as long as once you're in the police, you're a part of that gang. It doesn't matter what colour or creed you are. The community see you as a part of that gang.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the issue. So I just feel like we just need to tackle it smarter and hope that there is a better relationship between the communities.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you as well. But in terms of getting into the police to change, I don't feel like a few black officers are going to be able to do it. As much as we think, I do believe that we need to respect, obviously, the black officers, because they're there to help our community.
I think we need to respect,
and they're able to understand. I mean, obviously respect everyone, but respect them even more, right? For what they're trying to do to help us, right? But in terms of the police, because within that force as well, they treat the black officers differently.
Yeah, because there's not enough of them.
Because look, even like they had a black police officer, a Nigerian. She went on a show. The police force was already trying to, be a certain way towards her. Had to be on the other side. That wouldn't have happened.
But regardless, I don't think the police force is not the cause of knife crime.
They're not the cause. Of course not. They're not the cause. Of course, I just think it's a number of different factors. I do believe the rise in poverty is definitely helped. I do believe social media as well. All of that type of stuff is influenced.
I feel like the knife crime has just been glamorized. That's what it is.
Glamorized?
It's just been glamorized.
Why? Because of the songs?
Glamorized because of the music. So drill, where people have freedom of speech to speak about all the crimes they're committing. A lot of the time, it's just glamorous. And the fact that social media is out there to actually help to promote them carrying the weapons, committing these crimes, and it's just all glamour. It's glamorous. It's almost like you're trying to set a status quo for yourself. Who can make the worst bars, or who can commit the worst crimes and then bust case up. And
even the jail now is like nothing. It's like
they've got PlayStation and all sorts in
not only PlayStation.
Oh, and they're even wearing brand names that I don't even own.
They're wearing designers. It's like prisoners doesn't even scare them anymore. And then the thing is, so many of them are in prison that they're meeting their friends in there. So it's like almost just like they're out.
I think they need to make prisons the way they do in some American prisons. Give them all yellow, orange jumpsuits and just leave them there. Because not leave them there, but do you know what I mean? Let them do the time, but make it so uniform where there is no sense of you're better than this, you're more drippy than that one, you're drippy than that one. It's not about your drip in prison. You are there to serve your time
for a consequence of
that you've committed. Yeah. So all of this drippiness and giving them a sense of individuality and identity is ridiculous. Yeah. Put them in prison, give them one colour jumpsuits and plimsolls to wear, and then give them courses to help with the rehabilitation.
I mean, in this country, though, the prison system is big on rehabilitation. That's one thing I would say. In this prison system, the prison system in the UK is focused mostly on rehabilitating those prisoners that can.
I've never heard of no prisoners coming out talking about being rehabilitated.
Really? Courses. No, there have been prisoners that have come out and opened businesses and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think who was it? What was that? There was what? There's been people that have come out and started businesses.
But I mean, like, for example, the young people.
Or started open restaurants and stuff like that because they learned those skills in prison. For example, just chef or cooking skills or whatever they learned in prison. They came out and they ended up opening businesses. I mean, there was one show the other day about Belmarsh, and there was one guy, he was a prisoner, and now he's come out and he's helping other prisoners to better their lives and stuff like that. But it's not everybody you can help, because some people, they have the mind, they don't want to be helped.
Criminals now, aren't they?
Yeah, but some prisoners, they come out, they want to
themselves. I know there is a bill now going through where they're trying to focus more on rehabilitation. So rather than putting them in prison, sending them on courses, like for burglars, people who commit burglary,
or petty crimes, basically.
Yeah, just to send them to rehabilitate. Which is all fine and good, but I just think with it, when it comes back to the knife crime situation, I think there needs to be more accountability, as in to the reason why, and more actions being taken to stop it. So if you know things are happening, speak on it.
I mean, when you said about someone turning, I don't know how...
Turning what?
Turning your child into the police, I don't know, that is a big... I mean, has a mother really got that heart to do that to her child? I don't know, but then I guess you can say it's tough love, isn't it?
I think it's tough love because for me, especially if you're a religious person, the difference between not giving the tough love is whether you're condemning your child to take a life.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then you being a parent, knowing that your child has taken a life when you knew they had that within them. Do you see what I'm saying?
True.
So for me, it's two different types of burden. You're brokenhearted because your child's committed a crime. You're brokenhearted because your child's now in prison. You're also brokenhearted because you're going to feel like you were unable to prevent it. So I'm saying maybe because I'm not a parent as yet, I don't have that love and attachment as yet to having a child of my own. But I feel like if I did and I saw my child doing certain things, I would do my best to stop it.
Of course.
And if I couldn't stop it, and it meant the difference between if they've got a knife or possession of whatever, turning them in, I might. I might. Or I will tell them they need to pick off their bags and go. Because I don't want it to see.
But then if you off their bags and go, then you're putting them more into the streets.
Then that's up to them. And the reason why I say that is because if I've done all that I can do, and you still refuse to take guidance or change, I can't watch you waste yourself in front of me.
I think if I was in that, God forbid, but I think the best thing to do, I would have tried to move out the area, change the environment. That's the first thing I would try to do, because I feel like putting them out there is releasing them to the wolves.
No, but I'm taking it from the standpoint.
They are like,
No, but I'm taking from the standpoint from what you said. You said that if a family is in complete poverty and whatever, which they don't have the funds to even move off and just go because they're in a council flat. You can't leave a council flat just like that, can you?
No, that's true.
Exactly. I'm taking it from your standpoint.
Yeah.
Because in my reality, we won't even be in that area living in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it's in what you're saying, where they're in poverty, they're in a council flat, things are really hard, it's a single parent, whatever. Obviously, if my child is still 14, 15, then I can't say off your bag and go. Do you know what I mean? But I'm taking it from a perspective where I've tried for years with you. You're now turning 20. Do you know what I mean? And you're still doing nonsense. No, off you go.
Yeah.
I will have to love you from a distance and pray that you will change.
Yeah.
But if you're still young, of course, there's work you need to do. Do you know what I mean? If you can get moved, whatever, that's fine. But I don't think any parent should necessarily 100% blame themselves for their child's shortcomings. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think so. If you've done everything you can do and your child still did not turn out the way
definitely you can't blame yourself, but you always feel a bit guilty in the back of your mind. You will question yourself, like, you know, where did I go wrong and things like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of this is having a watchful eye in your child. You have to be, you can't give children freedom. Children are not meant to really have too much freedom. That's why they have parents, you know? And I feel like children these days, they have way too much freedom, right? And, you know, I wasn't allowed, some of my friends were going parties, I wasn't allowed. I can get myself ready, do my hair, put everything on. Where you going? You best go back. I can sit there and cry for the whole night, but I'm not going nowhere. And it's the same thing with my brother. You know? So I feel like you have to keep a watchful eye. My parents used to want to know who my friends are and who are my friends' parents. They used to actually want to meet my friends' parents. It used to be embarrassing. But, like, I understand now. And I will do the same thing to my kids. When my son says to me, "Oh, mummy, can this person comes over?" Like, I'm meeting that child and their parents. So I can know what type of background their parents come from. And, you know, if I'm like, you know what? Because even though that child might be good, depending on the background and the parent they come from, you can tell where it's going to lead to. And I don't want my son to be attached to people that might go down a spiral and then he's got to be there because that's his friend. You know, it's like you got to kind of choose your friends for your kids as friends, because it's all children are very impressionable. They're very easily influenced by each other. Yeah, that's true. But going back to the whole to the knife crime thing, just linking it to my reality, I feel like there's a lack of community. And I think that's probably part of the issue. Because growing up in Guyana, so I wasn't born in this country, nor was Krystelle. Yeah. We're both Guyanese. And Guyanese, I remember going to school in Amsterdam, Berbice, Guyana, yeah? And primary school. And after school every day, there was this group of girls, and it was me, and also my little auntie and my cousin Nikita. It was like 3 of us, and then there was 3 sisters as well. Each sister was in each of our year. And every single day we were used to walk behind these girls, or they used to walk behind us, and we used to literally fight down the street. Or they'll wait till used to be a fight. And they used to walk, and we used to fight down the street. And one day, I don't know, I think something, it got out of control, and then we ran in fighting, and I took up a brick and I pelted this little girl with it. Like, I pelted her down. And then, literally, by the time I got home, my grandmother was waiting with her whip outside the door. And I'm just like, why are we about to get beaten? You know why? Because in the news. Listen, someone saw us kicking up a fuss by in front of, what do you call it? Penitentiary Walk, right? Saw us and called to tell my grandmother, Miss Ross, you know your granddaughter, they're beating up people here. And as soon as we got to the gate here, Krystelle, my grandmother started to beat us, and we only found out what we were getting beat for during the lashes. And the thing about that, it kept us in check. Because yes, we used to create mischief, but you're always looking around to see who's gonna see. You. Because the sense of community, and no one in Guyana was afraid to slap us up even. Because we know that if my grandmother's friends or my aunt's friends saw us, we can get slapped by them, right? And they will come back and tell your parents,
and then our parents will beat us for acting up as well. And you know why? for embarrassment.
Exactly.
So in Guyana, it was a big thing to embarrass your parents or your family.
Yeah.
So don't embarrass nobody, right? Do not embarrass nobody.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the UK, there's no sense of community.
That's what I'm saying. Your neighbours just...
Because you can't even speak too hard to your neighbour's kid.
Let me tell you something. I had a neighbour. Growing up in Guyana, right? We had a neighbour. Me and my best friend, Acacia. Oh, my days. Our neighbour, we couldn't do nothing. We used to try to get away and go in the bushes and stuff to play.
We're not hide in the bush and play. What kind of
just
play?
Just play. Like, just run away. Just run away. Pick up our bags and go somewhere. And I'm telling you, the neighbours, you know, our moms will come out. Where Krystelle? Where the Cassie? The neighbour opened up she big mouth. I just see them go down the road there. By the time we didn't even come back, news travel from one neighbor to the next. Yeah, mother looking for y'all. Yeah, mother. Oh, by then we already know we're in trouble. We ain't even reached our destination yet. We got to go back home because, you know, licks.
And the joke is, there was no mobile phones in Guyana, you know.
Yeah, no mobile phones.
There was no mobile phones.
And you know what happened? By the time you get home, if it's not my mom, it's my friend's mom meeting us with a whip. Where are you two going? Did you ask permission to leave this yard? No. You get licks. And if you get licks from your friend's mom's going to call your mom and tell your mom, you know I had to be Krystelle? Because she and the Cassie went to... Okay. Send her home. When Krystelle gets home, when I get home, I get another dose of licks. And another dose of licks.
And that's because of community. And it's funny because there was no mobile phones in Guyana.
So you wasn't even able to make mischief because before you even reach your destination, your parents have been contacting you. Gotta go home. Yeah, I'm gonna looking for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just over. Yeah, there's no sense of community. And I feel like if we had that kind of like looking out for one another over here, kids won't be able to make them type of mistakes.
And that's because there's so much guidelines and boundaries, so you can't even speak to anyone else's children. You can't tell them because they're like, you're not my mother, you're not this, you're not that. And with that being said,
the parents
no one's looking out for their kids. No one's looking out for each other's kids. So when do you see kids acting up, what they've got a knife, they've got stabbing, they've got this. So the parent at home may not even know that their son or daughter is carrying a weapon, but everyone else in the community knows. Because let's bear in mind, a lot of these children that aren't bad behaved children in front of their parents a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So the ones that act good at home, but they're dirty little rebels outside, the parents don't know. But had that been Guyana, best believe your parents will know.
Yeah, you got to be the same person in the house as you are in the streets.
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, right? It's like these days as well, I've even had friends with kids, and that child can do something wrong, and I'm not even allowed to tell that child off. Because nobody wants you to talk to their kids any type of way. You better not talk to my child like that. You better not discipline. Like, you're not even allowed to instill discipline. Like, we're all adults, and it takes a village to raise a child,
100%.
and it's 100% true. Like, if we had that village mentality over here, then a lot of children wouldn't be finding themselves in that way. Because you know what? If the discipline doesn't come directly from the parent, but the discipline is gonna come from the elders in the community. Or anybody else's parent who knows right from wrong. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, the thing is, because I was brought up in that type of way where I'm aware that any adult can speak to me. All of the kids around me,
and they don't have respect for
all of the kids around me, my younger cousins, like your kids, my god kids, I have no issues smacking them. Okay, I won't smack anyone's children, but like telling them off or whatever. Because I'm a nice auntie, but once everyone that comes to my house know there's a discipline. You can have fun, but I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate certain things. And if I say, you will know what I mean. And it doesn't matter if the parent's there or not. If I told your kid not to do something and you object, you best go allow yourself with your child. And because I'm not going to allow your kids to be disrespectful to me and you're there. And if I feel like your parenting skills or your level of discipline does not equate to what I think is appropriate, you can take your kid. We don't have to have your kid around us. I'm sorry. I'm very plain as they like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's the issue. Some people don't want you to tell their kids anything.
Yeah, no, they don't.
And they will see their
child acting up, and then it's just like, you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing.
No,
you know,
sorry.
And they themselves won't even say nothing to the child. And kids these days, a lot of kids these days, they don't even have respect for elders. I've seen people, these little kids, that school kids in their uniform, cussing out old pensioners and stuff, and it's like,
fighting,
you know what I mean? On the bus
fighting.
and stuff like that, and it's just like, where's the respect is gone, and you know the respect is gone. When the respect is gone for your elders, it's like, you know, in Guyana is like, people say, you know, me and you is not my tea. That's not your friend. You, whether you know that woman or not, or the man or not, you can't be getting rude to an older person, whether or not they think, oh, respect is you know,
respect is earned,
and all this type of rubbish, you know. And I don't believe, like, I believe respect is earned, obviously, when it comes to certain things, but I think an older person's an older person. If they want to be, you know, go running off the mouth, just leave them to run off the mouth. You respect them to either walk away or something. Don't go there arguing. And these kids now, they even got on the train and the bus. I was even scared to swear where if there's an adult around me. So swearing on the train or on the bus where there's children and older adults, I will never do that. I might swear with my friends, but I ain't gonna swear where there's adults and stuff like that. They be effing and bliming. There's little kids there on the train or on the bus or whatever, and they're just cussing and carrying on and fighting and using all types of languages. And
but once again, your kid can act one way
because
at home,
that's it, you know, like
but
you
don't
saying,
know how they act outside.
No, but you were saying that going back to you can't embarrass the family. You can't embarrass your family, so you ain't gonna be cussing because you like you cussing. You turn around the bus and you see your nan's friend at the back of the bus. Oh, you're in big trouble because they're gonna go back and say, "Casey cussing up on the road." You cussing up on the road?
But like I said,
you might not even see
this
the person.
society doesn't have that. I think this society in this country does not have that. But I feel like in other parts, maybe they still, I don't know if Guyana still has that kind of culture.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it anymore.
Yeah.
But times have changed. So it's all about what's in, what's new. And you know what? During the mental figure shed, the kids probably are just sick cussing in songs and it's a cuss words. What can you say?
Exactly.
It's probably cuss words from a song. So
talking about growing up in Ghana, I think a lot of people don't know that we're cousins. We're actually cousins, guys. We're what, second cousins? Yeah, second cousins. Yeah, we're second cousins. Yeah, our dads are cousins, our nans are sisters. Yes. So we're cousins, and we grew up in Guyana. We went to primary school and stuff in Guyana.
Oh Lord, that is a whole separate.
It's a whole separate conversations. How we even found out that we're cousins. Well, we got to leave that one for another day.
Lord.
So what would you say your experience was like growing up in Guyana? I mean, apart from the discipline and all that.
No, I loved it. I felt like I was free to actually be a child. The 100%. Freedom, I remember running barefoot with my slippers, picking guineas, putting fruits off the tree, playing cricket, rounders. Yeah. I was able to play outside.
Yes.
Because we weren't rich in Guyana, but we didn't have separate TVs or our own bedrooms. I remember sleeping on a bed with about 3 of us. Yeah. On one bed, like this.
Yeah.
Like head and tail. Or I was sleeping in a bed with my grandmother, so I never actually had my own room in Guyana, my own bed.
Yeah, but it didn't bother you.
Like, it didn't bother. I didn't even know the difference.
We didn't care about things like that because all we wanted to do, our mind was set bent, focused on going outside.
Go and play. Just play.
Anything. Play. And you know what's so funny? We didn't have like games and all of that to play. We used to make up our own games. Our creativity level was on one, I'm telling you. Because if you think about it, we used to play what we used to call it tar, but marbles or whatever. We used to we actually used to take us it was a fruit called what was it? Cookrit. Yeah. Waro, yeah. There was a fruit and it had this big stone in the middle. We used to eat the fruit, take all the bits of the stone and make it all shiny. Then dig like holes.
3 holes.
Dig holes in the ground. In the mud.
Like, pitch it.
And then throw it in each hole. Some of us used to try to win money like that. Like it's simple things. The amount of fun we used to have riding our bikes. Just riding our bikes.
One of my funnest part was actually when there's blackout.
Oh my days!
So when the light goes off here, like what do they call it in this country? Not blackout. They don't call it blackout. Basically,
power
cut. When there's a power cut in this country, we call it blackout. The government literally used to tell us 2 weeks to get blackout every night.
Yeah.
Sometimes from about 6.
Yeah.
Till,
around 6.
About from like 6 till 10 or something.
10, yeah.
And then during that time, you'll burn a candle. Or a lamp, and then literally just come together, tell scary stories, riddles. Like
I used to go out on my veranda, and me and my neighbour used to have a sing off. Like literally, we'll be on, like, my neighbour's in her veranda, I'm in my veranda, we're singing from across the street, like singing across the road to each other, like telling stories. Like it was like the best time, so much fun.
And that's what's crazy is the difference in childhood.
Yeah, man.
And the different childhood experiences. I don't think my children will be able to experience those things.
Listen, it was so much fun. We used to take a tire with a stick.
Oh yeah.
And roll it down the road. Like that was fun. We used to play cricket in the streets.
Do you remember making your own kites?
Making your own kites.
With the paper.
The paper and yeah, man. Oh. And all that, and we were so responsible from a young age. Like literally, I was cooking from young. Like when I think about it, my son still tells me at 7, "Mommy, can you bring me a glass of water?" I had to tell him the other day, like, no, you're gonna be doing your own thing from now. You're a big boy. But like we were so independent. We used to do things, and in order to go out and play, we used to have to do chores. We used to sweep the yard and wipe the stairs and be on our knees wiping the whole veranda and all of that, just so we can go out and play.
You used to have to use a knife and scrape the stairs. And you have to scrape
it with a wire brush.
Yep, scrape it and you have to look shine like red. So
yeah,
you can see the new red.
And they used to be like, "I want to see me face," and you'll be scrubbing and doing all of that just so you can go out and play. Because go out and play.
That's a big thing.
TV. What's TV? Like, listen.
No, you can watch TV.
First of all, the TV was really for the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because anytime their shows come on, I can't watch it. It's not for children. Go outside. That's how we used to get treated. But
I think it was a pattern. It was like, go to school. School finishes at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You come home, take your clothes off. You have to sleep. Then you gotta wake up.
Do homework.
Fetch water. And then you could go and play.
Yeah.
Literally. And usually the water will cut off from about 7.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you fill the drum. God, you don't probably know what the hell the drums are. Like literally full of drum.
We had chickens. I had to feed the chickens.
Oh Lord.
I had to feed the chickens. That was my responsibility. You know what? It seems crazy now, but those things really like made me so appreciative, and it made me so responsible. Like I just think like, yeah, kids are so spoiled. They're so spoiled. But honestly, going out to play was like the best thing. We used to even anything, we were so creative. We used to make anything and turn it into a game. Like anything and turn it into a game. And it was just so nice. And all our friends were from the same neighborhood. Everyone knew each other. Most of our family and friends, we grew up together. So everyone's safe. No one's worried. You know, it was such a great time. Like our best childhood, honestly.
What we can hope is that one day we'll be able to get the same experience in this country.
Yeah.
Probably not in my lifetime, but I hope my grandchildren will be able to have it.
Yeah. I don't know. Times have moved on. Like all they care about these days is like bloody Nintendo. All my son cares about is like
No. You know how bad it's gotten in this country.
Nintendo.
Where I know it's bad. From when kids now are watching YouTube of other children playing with toys. Can you tell me how sick that's now become?
Yeah.
You're sitting watching other kids play with toys.
Yeah.
It's a matter.
Yeah, they actually sit down on YouTube and watch other children play.
I'm telling you, I need to start a video where people can watch me watch other people watch other people. I think there's money in there.
Yeah, there is. It's crazy. Like you sit down and watch people eat. That makes them.
I could make their money doing that, you know.
People sit down and watch other people eat. It's crazy. You think how the times have moved on,
Lord. But anywho, let's wrap this up because my eyes are starting to do a little squinty thing.
We had a great
guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will, if you want to see us do an actual episode solely based on our upbringing and a bit more about Guyana. Maybe have a few of our actual other Guyanese families to come together and speak about their experiences as well.
Yeah.
Please let us know in the comments or send us a message.
We got to get our parents on here one day.
Oh, Lord.
They will tell you some stories. But yeah, I really enjoyed this evening. And yeah, like again, we're going back to more serious note, the knife crime, let's all try to stick together and do the best that we can in supporting each other and helping, get rid of this really sad epidemic that's going on within our communities. Thank you for all your support again. And all that details, everything will be linked down below. The All My Tales cards are available on the All My Tales website, which is also linked down below. So you go ahead and purchase that. It's a great way to start conversations. And till next time, see ya.
Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Because someone did point out that, we don't really say it enough. So,
I mean, we're not them kind of YouTubers. They're like, click the notification bell, like and subscribe.
We might become them.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
In time. Well, we got to remind you guys. So like, subscribe, comment.
And if you're listening on podcast, we are also available on video as well. So you can watch the live filming of this. But yes, once again, guys, thank you for watching us. I'm your host, Acacia.
And I'm Krystelle.
Thank you. And All My Tales is out. Just remember, everyone has an opinion.
And everyone has a story.
So until next time, guys.
Bye. Bye.